Well, at least we're not losing. Hi there, and welcome back to FM Projects, where we have another one of the Bayerische Pokal games for you here today. Before we get into it, though, I wanted to show you some interesting things that I was looking here on our team information screen. Of course, this looks different than the game you usually get from SI because of the skin that we're using, which I highly recommend. You can look back a little bit. I talked a little bit about that before at the beginning of the save. We can see here, though, that's interesting that I didn't think about so much before is the average age of our squad has gone way down to 21 years old now. Might kind of explain why we're having a little bit of problems with that team of cohesion with so many team players coming in and out. Shortest player we have is poor Leon Semic, who's at 169 centimeters, is shorter than the coach. The tallest, of course, is Jean-Marie Najombe, who we're about to see here today. We have a fairly tall team overall, but this is the key, right? Our key player here, Visar Muslio, is also on the highest wage. You can see 21,500 euro per week. We need to get rid of that. 45 caps there for Muslio, which I guess is pretty good for somebody playing at this level. But as always, when we look down at his injury history, we can see that there's been a lot of major injuries so far this season. That's a problem. We're paying a lot of money for this guy to be injured. We need to move on from him, I think. And here we go against Straubing here in the second round. So if you weren't with us for our first round match in this Bayerische Pokal, which the board doesn't care about at all, of course, in the first round, we didn't really do much. We didn't have much of a attack and wound up going to penalties where we barely won and barely eked out the match. That's not the way that we want to go. We need to be winning this. We should be winning all of these games handedly. And we'll see what happens. The nice thing is that if we lose, the board is not going to go for my head, but we shouldn't be losing. We should be winning. If we're going to have a team that is actually going to compete for promotion at some point in time and that hopefully will be good enough to play in the Bundesliga, we need to be dominating this cup now. And if we're not doing so, we need to get rid of the players who can't do so. Suleimani now back to Lechner, the youngster Lechner, who's not really good enough for this level, but it's okay because everybody else is surly and doesn't want to try. Suleimani now with that excellent little crossover there to Lutzi, to Fabian, who misses his shot. But it's something, as long as it's something's better than nothing. Here comes Semic now. Semic heard what I said about him being a little short guy and wants to prove me wrong. Now, you see, this is the sort of thing that we want. This is the sort of movement that we really need here going forward. And as always, the game is glitching on these replays. This is the sort of movement that we need. We're about 1 minute into it. We've had a couple shots on goal already. And it looks like we've come here to attack instead of just sort of sitting back and holding on to the ball, and then we give up a goal. Oh my gosh. Amadou Kande. Is there a little bit of rain that I saw there come down? I may have been seeing things, but yes, there is a little bit of rain. And sometimes, as I know from previous football managers, that rain is what's going to cause the graphical glitching. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. And like I said, we should be dominating this match. We should not be losing. If we lose here, it may be the start of the end for me as a manager of this side. I tell you, and I know I mentioned this last time, but one of the real difficulties that we have is the fact that I came in with no experience and with no reputation, which really does mean a lot in Football Manager, unfortunately, as much as we want to pretend that it doesn't mean anything. And that's a good set piece there from Suleimani. Anyway, I think that my lesson learned here is that from now on, I'm going to make sure that my reputation matches that of the team so that I have a chance. Another corner here for us. We should be able to get around on some of these corners as we have so many big boys. But let's see what happens. And that one also is going nowhere. Back to Fabian, who it's kind of nice that we have him there. Part of the problems that we're having with the corners is that we don't have guys who can take them. Which is part of the consequence of us playing with young players and of me not really paying attention to corners when we make transfers. So that's the way that it goes. We're actually behind an XG. How about that? Of course, that was Straubing had a very, very good shot on goal, and our defense just sort of gave up on that, and that'll do that. Nadiombe now. Nadiombe should have a cross in, and the big man doesn't quite have the ball control that he needs. He's young. That's the thing. All of these guys are young, and we're open for a counterattack here. Kande now finds Preuss, but nothing going. Lino's there this time to control the lines and to stop anything silly from happening again. It was a good thought, though. And now let's see if we can get something going. So we're going to demand more once again. Like I said, we should be dominating this match. We're not. I'm concerned about this, about our inability to score even when presented with chances. We've had good chances so far. We're going to get hopefully some more chances in the future. There's Hawkins there on that side to Farner and Semic, and I mean, it's something. That's more along the lines of what we're looking for. And yes, Semic's on an attacking role, which is why he's shooting. We want to see more of that sort of buildup. That's the real vertical tiki-taka that I thought I was getting, not the thing we had at the start of the season where we just passed the ball around to each other over and over again. Lutzi gets the ball and just heads it back to the goalie. I mean, Fabian, I guess, oh my gosh. Fabian, I guess, is too worried about his hairdo. Najombe is totally beaten on that. The ball hits him in the back of the head and gives Straubing a shot on goal. I'm not sure that our team would compete in the Regionalliga the way that we're playing here today. Here's Hemke, though. Benjamin's got to pass that one. And again, we do have him on an attacking role. It's just that little absence of quality that we have. What we need to do is work that ball into the box, which I'm pretty sure is part of the tactic that we have. I'll go take a look, though. It may be something that I took off. We may need to put it back on. Pavlovic now, and that shot on goal goes nowhere. Pavlovic, the young rookie and one of our better up-and-coming players, probably going to be the replacement for Tobias Schruck, who is 29 and old and aging and fading. Nadhombe now over to Suleimani, and it's taken just straight off of him. And this is part of the problem that we've had, and it's a morale problem. And players are playing with their heads down and not really paying attention to what they're doing and getting the ball taken away from them. That was good, though. We do have quality in the back, and you'll note that the players who seem to be playing better are the ones who are new hires, new signings, and not these players who've been around for a while who look like, they can't be bothered. Lutzi gets great position, just doesn't have a finish on that. How many times have you heard that one in Football Manager? He has, great physicals, but no finishing. And Conde now for Straubing, and we're in trouble. Pavlovic gets back this time, and boy, that was close. Passing it back to the keeper is not what I really want to see. Hemke now trying to get that build up. See if he gets a little pass into Lutzi. Lutzi from the side, and nothing's happening there. Ooh, and Jalen Hawkins, after all of the criticism in the media, after all of the things I said bad about him last time, and in my story, Hawkins gets the goal on a header, on a little excuse me header. That's the second goal of the season. And, I mean, this is just, a ball that's up there in no man's land. He's able to get his head around onto it and score the goal. How about that, of all the surprises? 1-1, and it's a brand new ball game. Here comes Lutzi again, and I mean, that was a better attempt. I mean, he was offside anyway. He's used to playing a more direct game than asked to today, okay? I don't like what I saw from this team. We should be dominating. We shouldn't be having a difficult time. I mean, I don't know. What is it that he wants to do, right? Oh, here we go. He wants to be the advanced forward. I don't fully understand what it is that we're talking about. You might be able to tell me down in the comment section what I should or should not be doing with him. Yeah, we do have work ball and box set on here. I like playing with this good width. I think that we have a good tempo. I think that we're passing more directly enough. And we're not going to mess around with the tactic right now. We're going to keep Lutzi in. We're going to put Matos in for Allison, who's having a bad game. Lechner's having a good game, which makes me quite happy. And we're going to put Bruckner in there for Semic. Nothing against Semic, but, Bruckner is a little bit more quality. And then we just hope that the game doesn't totally glitch out on us. And here we're going. Medium graphic setting. I should have the ability to play this game on a high graphic setting, even with OBS running, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And it's a corner now for Straubing. And Pavlovic gets to the end of that, and now back up to Lutzi. Fabian back to Hawkins. Get it back to Fabian there. Yep. And he's got his first goal of the season. Beautiful, beautiful. That's what we want to see. Talking about he's used to playing a more direct game. And look at that little jig he dances. You talk about playing a more direct game. I mean, you can't get more direct than this. I don't know what it was that our assistant was trying to say. I mean, this is the way that we want to play, right? Just run forward, grab the ball, put it in the back of the net, put it into the corner, and you've got it. He's got the ability to do this. Should be able to do it in every game. It just takes a little while, I guess, for our guys to realize that they can actually do it and that they are good players and that we're not just a losing team. I mean, the squad I put together isn't awful. You might disagree. I'd love to hear it if you do, but I think the squad's actually fairly good. Bruckner now on the side. You can see Bruckner is doing much better than Semic, and there's that beautiful, 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 beautiful cross to Lutzi who just misses the header. That's what we want to see. Then we're dangerous. Suleimani now with the corner, and over to Pavlovic, another one of those big boys, and that's one of those infamous far corners, and here comes another one because that's all we've got set up. And Lechner gets his head on it, but it goes somewhat goalwards, but still not quite good enough. We're easily ahead here now on XG, and we're starting to hopefully dominate this match as long as nothing foolish happens. Lechner now with the ball. I'm telling you, this Lechner guy who was on our reserve squad, a good player. Lutzi now with that excellent, excellent shot. That's the reason why we bought him. That kind of shooting from range. You just got to have a little bit of patience. That's what it's all about. It's having patience and getting to know the players, knowing what they want, knowing what they don't want. And here comes Bruckner again, and he's got Lutzi right there. Pass it to Fabian. What was that from the Straubing keeper? That's going to be an own goal. They're going to put it on to Grandolfo, who I think got a back heel on it. I want to see this replay. This is what happens when you play attacking, right? You bring the game to the defense. So Bruckner here is an excellent, excellent cross, and that's not off Grandolfo. That's off of the keeper. That's off the keeper's hands. Don't know what the keeper's trying to do. He doesn't know what he's trying to do. He's neither here nor there, sort of flailing at the ball, and that's why we play attacking, boys. Lutzi back to Bruckner now. Farner back to Bruckner, and that was a good attempt, at least. Najombe. Apologies for my poor French. And Gressel back to Lechner. I think that it was their Lechner, actually, who got that header on that last corner that we had. Preuss now to Aydin, and that's poor from Lino. That is poor from Lino. We had the defenders there in the right position. Defenders are fairly well placed. I mean, we could be Matos. We could actually be doing something instead of looking at our shoes. But Lino's got to make that stop. I mean, he's young, just like everybody else, but we've got to do better than that. He's got that 6.5 rating. I'm starting to wonder for these cup games, for this cup, we don't care so much about if we don't just take Diekerhoff and put him in instead. Diekerhoff, who hates to train, bad training ratings every single time. I'm not sure what his deal is. That's actually the reason why he's not been playing. You got to train. You're not going to train. You're not going to make any improvement. You don't get to play. Suleimani now, we've got to get another goal here. Come on. And Lutzi will never score an easier goal than that. Little header, little flick on with the noggin. Beautiful assist from Suleimani, who I thought was taking a shot, and he very well may have been. And this makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. 4-2 with about 10 minutes left. And I think we're just going to leave this team on for the time being. And boy, Football Manager is having a real hard time here, isn't it? Trying to figure out what to do with this replay. This looks almost as bad as it looked when I switched from Mac OS to Linux back a couple weeks ago. Of course, that was completely unplayable. I don't know, for some reason the computer wasn't recognizing the video card anymore. So anyway, it's all right. We make gradual improvements and we just move onwards and upwards. That's what we do on FM projects. And now we just wait this one out. Here's our Lechner. Back to Najombe, and then to Lutzi with a little, I don't know what that was, one of those little floaters. Hemke now, and Hemke has a much better pass into Lutzi, who's going for a hat trick. fails to complete it. It's all right. He's only, what, 18 years old? I think it is 17, 18, He doesn't have to have a hat trick here on the big cup game. My hope, though, is that success in this match and success in our next one tomorrow against Dresden, if we have a couple wins going forward here, maybe we can start to really turn things around and get the morale back up. See, I don't really mind. Again, here comes Gensdorfer. I don't really mind so much if Straubing score, as long as they don't score twice. If they score once, I don't care. They can score once if they want. Emke now to Lutzi, to Hawkins. Yeah, don't be too selfish. Hawkins was sort of a poor pass. I think Hawkins just wants to head the ball. He's got 2 goals off of headers so far this season, and the rest of the time he's barely even present. What was that? This happens every once in a while in Football Manager. You don't know what the player's doing, don't know what he's thinking. He's just sort of giving up on the play. And now we're watching a replay. Okay, we'll watch this replay here. Lutzi making the smart decision to pass to Hawkins, and Hawkins just doesn't know what to do when he has the ball there. I mean, you got to go for the open part of the net, not that little narrow corner that the keeper's trying to push you towards. Anyway, whatever. He's another young one. We'll see what happens. Lutzi back to Hawkins, and Hawkins is just completely beaten off the ball, and that's the end of that game. That's the end of that match, and we have another victory here for us. And hey, at least that's something. Well, if you enjoyed that, as always, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, daily content, and leave a comment here or there. Let me know what you would do differently, and maybe I'll take your suggestion and change things around. Talk to you tomorrow.